What if I told you that one creamy food you've been warned to avoid could actually lower your blood sugar by up to 35%? But only if you eat it at the right time. Most diabetics try it once, see their glucose rise and never touch it again. And that mistake costs them better fasting sugar, calmer nerves, and steadier energy every single day. Here's what no one explains. This food behaves completely differently in the morning, afternoon, and night. At the wrong hour, it can work against insulin. At the right hour, it can activate glucose-clearing pathways, calm stress hormones, protect nerves, and even reduce the liver's nighttime sugar release. That's why some people say this food made their diabetes worse, while others quietly use it to control cravings, flatten post-meal spikes, and wake up with better numbers, without cutting carbs or adding medication. In this video, I'll show you how 3 nut butters do 3 different jobs inside the diabetic body. One supports mornings, one stabilizes your day, and one protects you while you sleep. Once you understand the timing, you'll never look at this food the same way again. First on the list, pistachio butter. Most people think blood sugar problems only happen after meals, but for many diabetics, the real damage happens quietly at night. You go to bed without eating anything sugary, yet wake up with high fasting glucose, nerve tingling, dry mouth, restless sleep, or blurry vision. This isn't about carbohydrates anymore. It's about stress hormones, liver glucose release, and a nervous system that never fully calms down. Pistachio butter works in this overlooked window better than almost any other nut spread, and that's what makes it uniquely powerful for diabetics. Pistachio butter doesn't act like an energy food. Instead, it works as a stabilizer. Its strength lies in how it interacts with cortisol, melatonin, and insulin sensitivity during the evening and nighttime hours. Many diabetics experience elevated cortisol at night due to poor sleep, nerve irritation, or chronic inflammation. Cortisol signals the liver to release glucose into the bloodstream, even when no food is eaten. This is why fasting blood sugar can remain stubbornly high. Pistachio butter helps interrupt this cycle by supporting the body's calming hormones and reducing stress-driven glucose output. One of the key reasons pistachio butter works so well at night is its magnesium and vitamin B6 combination. Magnesium improves insulin receptor sensitivity and relaxes the nervous system, while vitamin B6 supports the conversion of tryptophan into serotonin and melatonin. Melatonin isn't just a sleep hormone. It also helps regulate glucose metabolism overnight. When melatonin levels are low, cortisol rises. When cortisol rises, blood sugar rises. Pistachio butter helps restore this balance naturally. From a glycemic perspective, pistachio butter is exceptionally safe. Pistachios have a glycemic index of around 15, and when ground into butter without added sugar, the glycemic load stays very low, about 1 to 2 per serving. 2 tablespoons of unsweetened pistachio butter provide roughly 180 to 190 calories, 15 grams of fat, 6 grams of protein, and about 8 grams of total carbohydrates with 3 grams of fiber. That leaves only about 5 grams of net carbs. For nighttime use, however, 1 tablespoon is ideal, delivering benefits without overloading calories or fat before sleep. Another major advantage of pistachio butter is its potassium content. 2 tablespoons provide close to 290 milligrams of potassium, which supports fluid balance, kidney filtration, and nerve signaling. Diabetics are especially prone to potassium imbalance due to insulin resistance and frequent urination. When potassium levels are low, nerves become more irritable and blood pressure control worsens. By gently replenishing potassium, pistachio butter helps calm nerve firing and supports healthier nighttime blood pressure patterns. Eye health is another area where pistachio butter quietly excels. Pistachios are one of the few nuts rich in lutein and zeaxanthin, 2 carotenoids that accumulate in the retina and protect against oxidative damage. Chronic high blood sugar accelerates eye degeneration, leading to dryness, eye strain, and diabetic retinopathy. Many diabetics notice worse vision at night or after screen exposure. Pistachio butter helps reduce retinal inflammation while also calming the brain, making it especially helpful in the evening hours. The gut also plays a central role. Pistachio butter contains prebiotic fibers that feed beneficial gut bacteria. These bacteria produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, which strengthen the gut lining, reduce inflammation, and improve insulin signaling in the liver. This gut-liver connection is critical for nighttime glucose control. When the gut barrier is weak, inflammatory signals push the liver to release more glucose. Pistachio butter helps restore this communication loop, leading to smoother overnight blood sugar patterns. There's a common myth that pistachios are too high in carbohydrates for diabetics. This misunderstanding comes from looking only at total carb numbers instead of glycemic load and metabolic context. Pistachio butter's fats, fiber, and protein slow digestion and create what researchers describe as a glycemic cushion. When eaten correctly, pistachio butter doesn't spike glucose. It softens the impact of other foods eaten earlier in the day and reduces stress-related glucose release at night. A helpful way to use pistachio butter is as a calming evening snack rather than a dessert replacement. Spread 1 tablespoon onto celery sticks or cucumber slices for a crunchy, low-carb option that won't disrupt sleep. Another option is mixing pistachio butter into warm, unsweetened almond milk with a pinch of cinnamon. This creates a soothing drink that supports relaxation and stable blood sugar before bed. Here's something important to watch. Pistachio butter is calorie-dense, delivering about 90 to 95 calories per tablespoon. More is not better, especially at night. Eating large amounts before bed can slow digestion too much and interfere with sleep. The goal is hormonal balance, not fullness. Stick to 1 tablespoon once per day, preferably in the early evening. Quality matters. Always choose unsweetened pistachio butter with no added sugar, honey, syrups, or vegetable oils. Many commercial brands add sweeteners that completely undo pistachio butter's benefits for diabetics. Look for labels with one ingredient, pistachios. Stir well before use and store it in the refrigerator to prevent oil separation and oxidation. Price. In the U.S., pistachio butter is considered a premium product, typically priced between $8 and $12 per jar, depending on whether it's raw or roasted. While more expensive than peanut butter, it provides rare nutrients like lutein, zeaxanthin, and high vitamin B6 that cheaper spreads simply don't offer. For diabetics struggling with nerves, eyes, sleep, and fasting glucose, pistachio butter delivers value beyond taste. Pistachio butter isn't about energy or indulgence. It's about recovery. It works quietly while you rest, calming stress hormones, protecting nerves and vision, supporting kidney balance, and helping your body wake up with steadier blood sugar. When used intentionally, it turns nighttime, often the most dangerous period for diabetics, into a window of healing. Second on the list, peanut butter. For many people living with diabetes, the most frustrating blood sugar number isn't after lunch or dinner. It's the one you see first thing in the morning. You wake up, haven't eaten anything, and your glucose is already high. This pattern confuses and discourages millions of diabetics because it feels unfair. But this spike isn't caused by food. It's driven by hormones, specifically cortisol, and peanut butter, when used correctly, can help correct this pattern in a powerful and practical way. Early morning is when cortisol naturally rises to help the body wake up. In a healthy metabolism, this rise is gentle and controlled. But in insulin-resistant bodies, cortisol becomes exaggerated. It signals the liver to dump glucose into the bloodstream, raising fasting sugar even before breakfast begins. This is often called the dawn effect, and it's one of the most stubborn issues diabetics face. Peanut butter helps interrupt this process by calming cortisol output and improving how glucose is handled at the cellular level. Peanut butter works best before breakfast, not as a late-night snack or random spread. When consumed in a small amount, about 1 tablespoon, 10 to 15 minutes before eating, it prepares the body for incoming carbohydrates. Its fats and proteins slow digestion, while its minerals activate glucose transporters that move sugar out of the blood and into muscle cells. This is why peanut butter is often described as a metabolic primer rather than just a food. One of peanut butter's most important mechanisms involves GLUT4, a glucose transporter found in muscle and fat tissue. GLUT4 acts like a doorway that allows glucose to enter cells and be used for energy. In diabetes, this doorway becomes resistant or sluggish. Compounds in peanut butter, particularly magnesium, resveratrol, and monounsaturated fats, stimulate GLUT4 activity even when insulin signaling is impaired. This means glucose can be cleared from the bloodstream more efficiently, reducing spikes and improving overall control. From a glycemic standpoint, peanut butter is remarkably safe when used properly. 2 tablespoons of natural peanut butter contain about 190 calories, 16 grams of fat, 8 grams of protein, and roughly 7 grams of total carbohydrates, with 2 grams of fiber. This brings net carbs down to about 5 grams. Its glycemic index ranges between 13 and 18, and its glycemic load stays under 2, which means it has minimal impact on blood sugar when eaten alone or before meals. Peanut butter also plays a role in brain chemistry. It contains tyrosine, an amino acid needed to produce dopamine. Dopamine affects motivation, focus, and mental energy. Many diabetics experience brain fog, low drive, or fatigue due to unstable blood sugar. When peanut butter is eaten in the morning, it supports dopamine production and provides steady mental clarity without relying on caffeine or sugar. This makes it especially helpful for people who feel drained or unfocused early in the day. Another often overlooked benefit of peanut butter is its effect on cortisol regulation. Peanuts contain beta-sitosterol, a plant sterol that supports adrenal balance. When cortisol remains chronically elevated, it promotes abdominal fat storage, worsens insulin resistance, and contributes to high fasting glucose. By calming adrenal stress responses, peanut butter helps restore a healthier hormonal rhythm throughout the day. Peanut butter also supports liver health, which is critical for diabetics. The liver plays a central role in glucose regulation, and fatty liver disease affects a large percentage of people with type 2 diabetes. Peanut butter contains oleic acid, a monounsaturated fat that improves fat oxidation in the liver. Unlike saturated fats, oleic acid helps reduce fat accumulation, lower inflammation, and improve insulin sensitivity in liver cells. A healthier liver means smoother glucose control all day long. There's a persistent myth that peanut butter causes weight gain. In reality, when eaten in moderation, it often helps with weight control. Peanut butter triggers satiety hormones such as GLP-1 and peptide YY, while suppressing ghrelin, the hormone that drives hunger. This combination reduces overeating later in the day and helps prevent impulsive snacking. For diabetics trying to lose abdominal fat or manage cravings, this hormonal effect is invaluable. A smart way to use peanut butter is to combine it with protein or fiber. One effective option is mixing 1 tablespoon of peanut butter into plain Greek yogurt with cinnamon and chia seeds. This combination supports digestion, reduces inflammation, and creates a glucose-stabilizing effect that can last for several hours. Another option is spreading peanut butter thinly on apple slices or carrot sticks as a pre-meal snack. Portion control is essential. Stick to 1 to 2 tablespoons per day, ideally earlier in the day. Avoid using peanut butter late at night, as its energy-supporting properties can interfere with sleep and may raise nighttime glucose in some individuals. Quality matters just as much as timing. Always choose natural peanut butter with minimal ingredients, ideally just peanuts or peanuts and salt. Avoid reduced fat, low sugar, or flavored varieties, as these often contain hidden sweeteners, maltodextrin, or hydrogenated oils that spike blood sugar and damage metabolic health. Store natural peanut butter in the refrigerator and stir well before use to redistribute the oils. One practical advantage of peanut butter is its affordability. In the U.S., natural peanut butter typically costs between $2.50 and $4 per jar, making it one of the most cost-effective diabetes-friendly foods available. Compared to protein bars or specialty snacks marketed to diabetics, peanut butter delivers more metabolic benefit per dollar than almost any option. Peanut butter may look simple, but its effects are deeply strategic. When used at the right time, it lowers fasting sugar, improves insulin sensitivity, supports brain function, calms stress hormones, and prepares your metabolism for the day ahead. It doesn't work by eliminating carbohydrates. It works by teaching your body how to handle them better. If your mornings feel unpredictable, sluggish, or frustrating, peanut butter may be the missing piece. Not as a comfort food, but as a metabolic tool. Used intentionally, it transforms breakfast from a blood sugar gamble into a controlled, stable start to the day. Third on the list, almond butter. For many people living with diabetes, blood sugar control isn't just about what happens after meals, It's about what happens in between. Persistent hunger, constant cravings, unexplained fatigue, mood swings, and stubborn A1C levels are often signs that hormones regulating appetite, fat storage, and insulin sensitivity are out of balance. Almond butter works quietly in this background, not as a quick fix, but as a daily stabilizer that helps restore metabolic harmony over time. Almond butter stands out because of how gently and consistently it influences the endocrine system. Unlike foods that create immediate energy or sharp satiety, almond butter works through slow, cumulative signaling. Its impact shows up in improved appetite control, steadier energy, and better long-term glucose trends rather than dramatic short-term changes. This makes it especially valuable for diabetics struggling with insulin resistance, emotional eating, or metabolic burnout. From a glycemic perspective, almond butter is one of the safest spreads available. Its glycemic index sits around 15, and its glycemic load remains under 1 per serving. 2 tablespoons of almond butter provide approximately 190 to 200 calories, 18 grams of fat, 7 grams of protein, and about 6 grams of carbohydrates with 3 grams of fiber, bringing net carbs down to just 3 grams. This ultra-low glycemic impact allows almond butter to blunt glucose spikes from other foods and maintain steady blood sugar when eaten regularly. What truly sets almond butter apart is its effect on 2 key hormones, adiponectin and leptin. Adiponectin improves insulin sensitivity and fat oxidation, yet levels of this hormone are often low in people with type 2 diabetes. Almond butter helps increase adiponectin activity, which allows glucose to be used more efficiently and reduces visceral fat accumulation. At the same time, almond butter improves leptin sensitivity, the hormone responsible for signaling fullness. Many diabetics experience leptin resistance, meaning they eat enough food but never feel satisfied. Almond butter helps restore this signaling, naturally reducing overeating and late-night snacking. Magnesium plays a central role in these effects. 2 tablespoons of almond butter deliver about 89 milligrams of magnesium, roughly 21% of the daily value. Magnesium improves insulin receptor function, reduces nerve excitability, and supports healthy blood vessel tone. It also helps lower systemic inflammation, which is a major driver of insulin resistance and vascular damage in diabetes. Vitamin E is another standout nutrient in almond butter. Each serving provides approximately 7.7 milligrams, or more than 50% of the daily value. Vitamin E protects cell membranes from oxidative stress, particularly in nerves, eyes, and reproductive tissues. For diabetics, this translates into better circulation, reduced neuropathy risk, improved skin health, and protection against diabetic eye damage. Vitamin E also supports fertility by protecting sperm and ovarian cells from glucose-induced oxidative damage. Almond butter also benefits the cardiovascular system. Its high content of monounsaturated fats helps lower LDL cholesterol, improve HDL levels, and reduce triglycerides. But beyond lipid balance, almond butter improves vascular flexibility through arginine-driven nitric oxide production. Nitric oxide relaxes blood vessels, improving circulation and oxygen delivery to tissues. This is especially helpful for diabetics experiencing cold hands and feet, high blood pressure, or early nerve symptoms. Another overlooked benefit of almond butter is its anti-inflammatory effect. Research shows that regular almond consumption lowers C-reactive protein, a marker of systemic inflammation. Chronic inflammation worsens insulin resistance, damages blood vessels, and accelerates nerve degeneration. By calming this inflammatory burden, almond butter supports healing at the root rather than just managing symptoms. The gut plays a quiet but powerful role in almond butter's benefits. Almond butter contains prebiotic fibers that feed beneficial gut bacteria, increasing production of short-chain fatty acids like butyrate. Butyrate strengthens the gut lining, reduces inflammation, and improves insulin signaling in the liver and muscles. A healthier gut environment leads to smoother glucose control and improved hormone regulation. There's a common belief that almond butter is too calorie dense for people trying to lose weight. But studies consistently show that people who include almonds or almond butter in their diet lose more abdominal fat than those who avoid them. This happens because almond butter reduces insulin spikes, improves satiety hormones, and prevents blood sugar crashes that drive cravings. Used correctly, almond butter supports weight loss rather than hindering it. Consistency is key with almond butter. Unlike peanut butter, which works best at specific times, almond butter delivers the greatest benefit when eaten daily at the same time. Midday or early afternoon is ideal, as this helps control appetite through the rest of the day and prevents late-night overeating. 1 tablespoon per day is enough to deliver hormonal and metabolic benefits without excess calories. A simple way to use almond butter is to mix 1 tablespoon into a small bowl of plain Greek yogurt with cinnamon and chia seeds, or spread it thinly on cucumber slices or celery. For a low-carb dessert alternative, blend almond butter with mashed steamed cauliflower, a touch of vanilla, and cinnamon to create a creamy, blood sugar-friendly pudding. Quality matters. Choose unsweetened, unsalted almond butter with minimal ingredients, ideally just almonds. Avoid flavored or sweetened varieties that contain syrups, sugars, or palm oil. Store almond butter in the refrigerator after opening and stir before use to keep oils evenly distributed. If you have advanced kidney disease, be mindful of potassium intake, as almond butter provides about 210 milligrams per tablespoon. Price. In the U.S., almond butter typically costs between $6 and $9 per jar. While more expensive than peanut butter, its high magnesium, vitamin E, and hormone-balancing compounds make it a valuable long-term investment for diabetics focused on sustainable control rather than quick fixes. Almond butter doesn't shout. It doesn't spike energy or suppress appetite aggressively. Instead, it restores balance slowly and reliably, helping your body relearn how to regulate hunger, hormones, and glucose the way it was meant to. Over time, this quiet consistency shows up as lower A1C, fewer cravings, better circulation, and steadier blood sugar from morning to night. When combined with pistachio butter for nighttime stability and peanut butter for morning control, almond butter completes a powerful daily rhythm of metabolic support. Food stops being a trigger and becomes a tool, 1 spoonful at a time. Managing diabetes is easier with the right knowledge. Like the video, subscribe to Diabetes Healthcare, and pass this on to someone who's struggling.